Now let's see. Let's see if this works. Now let's see. Yep, it works. Let's see if this works. So, let's see. Yep, it works. Let's see if this works. Okay. So I'm going to close out of there because I know it works. So why I am talking to you, telling you what's have gone on for the last couple weeks. Hello, people can't see me. You're on my phone because I've been using my iPad. I got it hooked up to. Actually, I have two little keyboards. Excuse me. I have two little keyboards that one's for my Amazon Fire and one's actually for my iPad. Well, my iPad one, it dies. I think it's the oldest one. And it dies pretty easy. So I got that one charging. And I got this one working. I don't know how long it's going to stay charged. And for Bible study, okay, fine, be that way, see if I care. Corner. You're not letting me close. There we go. So we've been doing the last book of the Bible. And we weren't the last couple times. Well, when they first started it, Tim was actually working, getting up 1, 2 o'clock in the morning and going to work. Now he's laid off again because they called him seasonal when they actually hired him for our position, which doesn't make sense. But anyways, I'm not going to go there. But we missed the first part of Revelations, that Bible study. So I'm trying to catch up. And the person that's doing the study, he's got me so confused. Our Pastor Joe has got me on the straight line. And he's realizing what the other person's doing is not going to work because there's people like me. Actually, I would say there's like maybe 2, maybe 3 the most that we don't have any clue what's going on. I will ask questions. Whether it's there, whether it's not there, I don't take very good notes. My handwriting is shitty. Excuse my language, but it is. I could come back and I cannot read what I wrote. And I don't take very good notes at all. But my point on this, and I told our pastor that it's when the paperwork that he gives us says trying to do everything. Tim's gonna figure out a little table for me. I can move it over there, over here, so I have a table here. His paper that he gave us, because everyone was complaining, which was a good thing, is the highlights of what we're doing. And it's like his notes, his little thing of what he wants to talk about. And he's going verse by verse. And we're talking about it, and we're studying. And we haven't even got to any on his paperwork. But it says here... this one says introductory of the great announcement of churches noted, there were 7 churches in Asia, which is the great announcement was made. The churches will be named and discussed in a later passage. When they are, and I'm not a very good reader, so be patient with me, it will be seen that they are representative for all the churches of the Lord Jesus Christ throughout the world. For now, the great announcement is the subject of discussions. And then it goes announcement, grace and peace of yours. This is a revelation. The grace and peace of your experience, meaning grace and peace, longing of rampfish same, who, what, where, and how they came with the side trip of characters of God. And it says support scripture and my own thoughts. Well, like I was telling Pastor, and I think I got it, he kind of understood where, and Tim helped, that he's giving, so what he's doing is he's going by verse, and then he's grabbing stuff out of the Bible to back up his opinion on each of the verses. And he wants us to talk about it. Well, that's really confusing me, because if I don't understand the verse, how can I discuss my opinion with you? Because all I'm getting is your opinion of what you're thinking that it says. So Tim's got a Bible. I've been working with it because I got a little backup thing. I got a new international one, which I love dearly because it's got my name on it, my maiden name on it. My grandmother bought it for me ages ago. That would actually tell you, if I tell you what year it was, put it this way, it was before high school ended, before I graduated, okay? That dates me. But anyways, getting back to the point, because I'm not trying to ramble on, but I am to a certain extent. But going to the Bible study and stuff with my Bible, it totally changes the whole meaning. And I sat there and I go, Pastor Joe. Everyone calls him Joe, or Brother Joe. And I go, the issue with this is, here you're reading King James, the older King James one. So is Tim. And I'm trying to follow along with mine. I found we discussed what we were talking about, and mine had a verse missing out of it. And the whole meaning has totally changed. And he goes, different Bibles do that, and and everything. He goes, a lot of people like the international thing because it's supposed to be easier to understand. Well, to me, it's more confusing when you have all these other people reading out of your different Bibles, or a different Bible than you, and the meaning has changed and the words have changed a little bit, and it's like, okay, I don't get this. So I kind of put mine up. Mine's actually up on the shelf up here because I'm not going to get rid of it. So I've been using my husband. My husband actually bought one that Pastor Joe uses, which is a study Bible. So in the study Bible, it has a verse like the first revelation, it says the revelations of Jesus Christ, which God gave unto him, and shew unto the servants things which must shortly come to pass, and sent and sniff. Like I said, I'm a bad reader. I know what it means. Usually when I can't say it, I'll spell it out for my husband. He'll pronounce it for me. And he'll go, do you know what it means? And I say what it means. And he goes, okay. But it's by his angel unto his servant John. Okay. Now, that verse in the middle of the page, it will say 1, and it'll say A, which is, if I go to find A on the first verse that I just read, it says, which God gave unto him. Okay. Well, in the middle of the page says John 3:32. So what I did is I typed up this verse on my iPad. So I have the verse in front of me. And then I put John 32 and I typed it up, and it says, and what he hath seen and heard, that he testified, and no man receiveth his testimony. So I'm reading going, okay, well, that makes a lot of sense. And then it goes down here and it says John 8:26, and that's for B. That's still for A. No. Yeah. A. Which is, I have many things to say and to judge you. But he that sent me is true, and I speak to the world those things which I have heard of him. Well, that makes it a little bit, I'm starting to understand a little bit more. So right now we're like at 8. So I'm going to go through, and I'm going to be behind, but I'm going to go through and do each one of these and type it all up how I did it. I also did on the 7 churches, what I did for the 7 churches. So I Googled each of the 7 churches. And for someone that hasn't really done much, I mean, I know about the Bible and I've read the Bible, but not going into details of everything. I just took, whatever someone was talking to me. Granted, all these years. So what I did is I took each of the churches and I Googled it and I put Bible. It showed me the map where they were. Some of them are cities. Some of them are ruins of the church that people actually go see. And it tells me the Bible thing of the churches. Well, what I don't understand is you might have out of the 7 list, I'm just going to use this for example because I'd have to read all over every 7 one. You would think that they were all Christian-based churches. No. You had pagan churches in that 7. And I asked Joe yesterday, I said, why? I said, I would assumed, that there's these, type of churches, but there's all these other churches. And he goes, there was other churches, and basically God picked 7. And that was a 7. He goes, that's not a big meaning church. don't focus so much on the church, but good information. You know, like I told myself, I kind of wanted the background of it. It's like in the King James version of Tim that Tim has. Um, it has like an intro, and it has Caesar Nero, another guy during the AD. Let's see. Oh, where is it? I got it over here. AD 37 38, and then AD 81 dash, and it also gives who was the king. And I went and I looked and found those guys on Google and read them up. And, so I have a little bit of a background of when this book was basically done by John during this time period. So, but that's about it. So, I'm watching my husband. He was digging a hole, putting a post in. Now I think he's going down to the Connex. Or Connex. We actually got another camera. Because it's weird here because like right now, just by the eyesight, I can only see that much of the Connex. So we got a camera that actually zooms further out than the other cameras that we have. And we put it on the roof of our RV. And we can actually look and almost see the road, the Connex, the corner, and almost to the other end corner of our property. This way we can actually go and check. Even though if anybody's down there like at night, it won't actually pick up and record because it's got to be closer. But to me, that's okay. Because if we see, like right now, there's dust down there, and I know it's my husband. It's dusty out there, and we kind of see, because you could see a vehicle coming towards our property on Blackberry. And I can go up there and actually look. So, but getting back to this. So I decided I'm going to do this because this is going to be where I can actually look at it, go back, and say, okay, this and this and this. Hopefully I can get caught up. I've been working on doing this. I thought that was him. I've been working on this for a whole week now, trying to figure out how I want to do this. And finally I came up with this, and I'm like, this is working because I can read. I've read like one. I followed and read each of the little things on the thing, and I'm still kind of, and I'm asking Joe, our pastor, questions. And so I'm like, and I started doing this. I'm going, this is working because I'm understanding this. I'm excited, but I wanted to get on here. I know I'm rambling on about doing this, and I need to get back doing this because I can't focus on this and doing this. But I wanted to reach out and touch bases with you guys. I don't know. No one has seen my lives at all, but what I would like to do, I know one person, I know he's having him and his other half is having such a hard time with their neighbors and courts and other people getting involved. And I don't want my channel to be based on him. I kind of want my channel to be based on being off grid, how far we got. We're not getting anywhere right now because we're like totally broke. My husband's talking about moving away into another state because he can't find a job, but everybody else can't find a job, it seems like, or having a hard time finding a job around here. So he's struggling right now. I want to stay here. I don't want to put my foot down and say, well, you're just going to have to figure it out because I'm staying here. And he kind of knows I want to stay here. If we don't stay here, I don't like how the government's going in Oregon, but I do want to go back to Brookings. And I really haven't said that to him. I guess it's because I'm comfortable there, you know, but it's trying to find a job there, you know, is the next thing. Because Brookings is such a little place. But we probably could go in and he could work in Medford or Grants Pass and we can live there. And I don't want to live there. So it's out here or nothing at all. But anyways, getting off the subject again. That's the one thing that I do is I get off the subject and I don't mean to get off the subject, but I go, it's like squirrel. And it's not like squirrel here because there's a lot of little ground squirrels around here and I don't go squirrel. Or some people go shiny, you know. Me, it's wild horse. Oh, Mustang. There's a Mustang. Looky, Mustang. I love horses. We'll never have one. I've had one growing up. I've had several of them. Not wild horses, but quarter horses and Welsh ponies. So, you know, it costs too much money to have horses. And I'm finding out a lot of people when they can't afford to have their horses, what they do is they let them loose out here. And then they basically turn wild with the Mustangs. And then you have crossbreeds. So go figure that one out. You know. But I want to make this off-grid work with us. I can't get my husband to convince that we have a jackery. We need it set up for the Connex. We need to set up his equipment up there. We need to get him doing something up there. We need to go out and start, you know, I have my eBay stuff. It's growing a little bit. But then I have, you know, I'll get really, really good and it's going really great. And then it just totally stops. It's like, you know, a week and a half of nothing now. And I was selling anywhere from 3 to 5 things every week. And then it's like this week, almost a whole week now of nothing. You know, it's like, so I hope that it'll pick up since it's the beginning of February. Hopefully people will say, well, I need to get that Valentine thing out because I do have a lot of beautiful silver pieces there. So in my eBay. So I don't know. But try and get my husband convinced that he just needs to set up at the convent on our property and start going. So I don't know. It's frustrating when you're at a standstill, you know. I wanted to get a chicken coop up there and a greenhouse up and going, and I don't see that coming anytime soon. So I could do what I can work on studying the Bible like I've never studied it before, and go from there. That's all I gotta say. Just go from one step to another step to another step. And maybe I will, what I would like to do, getting back on the subject, because I keep going off, is I would like to talk to someone that I know that's a YouTuber and say, I have these two channels. One's going pretty good. And ask him questions. How do you feel about it? Because it's based on some of the stuff that's actually going on, but I try to make it where it's fun, but I'm not, the truth, but what people are talking about, and that's about it. And it's not, I don't put anything out. There goes a bunny. There goes Roger. I don't put anything on it about them, because I want to keep them. I have, but if you go on to my other channel at FLS Crooked, you'll find it there. You'll see that I'll have like Egyptian and the rock and roll. So this way it protects them and everything. But in order to get my point across, I had to put them in there. And then I did a little backstory of what they do actual on YouTube in there, so people go, okay. And I think there's one that tells a little bit about the backstory about their stalking neighbors. But that's all I'm going to say about that. I'm trying slowly to switch it out to more positive things. I did it because I wanted to build a story, and it was like the fastest story that I could get, and try to make it funny and cute and adorable, because it's all AI. Okay. The song and everything. I want to keep building on it, but I want to go more of a positive, start putting more positive stuff in there, or more funny little stuff that has nothing to do with that storyline. But I'll put a few, like today and tomorrow is about two other channels. One, he's talking about, he's asking that he's doing this money thing for someone's birthday, which her birthday is not, she's a YouTuber too, and in April. It's like a pre-birthday thing. And he goes, but I'm keeping the money. And he's really funny. J Hip. That's who it is. So if you look J Hip up, he's pretty funny. I mean, he cracks me up all the time. And so I've done It Ain't My Birthday party. That's coming out today. And then tomorrow, because Tug and Megan, we call it Mug. And Tug, which is that umbrella guy, You can look up both of them. Megan Fox, the editor, author, news. You should be able to find her on YouTube. I like watching both of them because they're both hilarious together. And he was doing pre birthdays for Megan, just making fun of J Hip and what J Hip was doing to Megan, and Megan's picking on J Hip. Why are you doing this for me on my birthday? And so I made a song of, this is my pre-birthday party. It's gonna last a whole year. Okay. So that's coming out tomorrow. So It Ain't My Birthday is coming out today. This is my pre-party for the whole year. Birthday party for the whole year is coming out tomorrow. So, and I've been on here for 30 minutes already, and nobody's on. See, nobody watches the show. I don't know how I could get anybody to watch the show, but right now, I think I will do a little shows here and there of what I've learned of doing Bible study. And it's probably going to be, I don't know. I don't want to put my opinions out on anything. So if I do, I apologize. But I am actually going, until we get something going on down at our Connex or our property to update everybody, this is what I'll be doing. Going to Bible study and telling you what I have learned from Bible study. Whether you're Christian, whether you're Catholic, whether you're not even anything, pagan, or not even believing in God, you should know a little bit about the Bible anyways, and what it says. So I don't have that many people here, so maybe I could come up with other things I could do, maybe cooking. If you watch this, please let me know what you would like, because I do like to cook, and I got a small kitchen here. I can show you how I cook in a small kitchen. Might do that one day. Do a little kitchen thingy of how I do it. Most of the time, it's one pan. I cook in one pan. Less dishes to do. That's my whole thing is, how can I minimize what I want to cook into one thing so there's not tons of dishes? And a lot of that turns out really good. So, but that's where I'm at, and that's where I'm going to be. And you guys have a wonderful rest of your day, and I will chat with you later. Bye.